people's lives are taken at the whims? Have you gone to a village where in one night over 500 people are killed? Have you gone there? Have you seen rotting dead bodies on the ground, on the streets? No, sir, you haven't. So please shut up and don't tell us they are lying. People are dying. We can't continue to play politics with people's lives until those in the Southwest, and I say this respectfully, come here and see it for themselves. They should keep their opinions to themselves.
What do they even know about what's happening here? That's the question.
They don't know anything.
You know, there's this thing about people in the Southwest. Once you just in fact, I think the name Jos is more popular than Plateau itself in general. Jos, the city of Jos is more popular than Plateau. So when you relate any incident to Jos, to Plateau, they believe
think, oh, it's not in
whole,
Jos.
yes, the whole of Jos and the whole of Plateau is actually endangered at this very point. Now, what I'm trying to say in essence is this. I think they need to step up with their kind of mentality. Trust me. You know, for those who have been coming to speak, the Westerners, you know, when I heard Femi Falana saying he lied, I was like, I respect you so much, sir, to actually make such a statement. You've actually said too many things that have actually, but I don't know at this very point what you mean by they lied. Your son came to Jos months ago.
Yes, for a video shoot.
For a video shoot. Your son was in Jos. They didn't really tell you what exactly he saw. I don't think you had a conversation with your son, sir. Because if you did have a conversation with your son, we will not get to this very point of you saying Nigerians lied. And besides, again, if you've been sincere to Nigeria and, you know, and the common nature of Nigerians, trust me, we will not get to this very point where you say Nigerians lied. For God's sake, it wasn't even Khan that reported.
No.
A certain bishop from Benue State traveled there to the United States in a 12-minute video. He mentioned clearly, categorically, all of this. I don't know if you saw the statistics the United States of America dropped yesterday.
Yes, I did.
You know, of what has happened between 2009 to 2025 and how the lives of Christians have been endangered. You know, at first, when the news came out, a section of Khan came out to say that it's not true. But another section came out to say, and at some point they all united, as they all came, you know, they united themselves as one, I beg your pardon. And they all agreed that this thing is happening. For God's sake, what will you call the Dogona genocide? Was it the community clash? No. Just this morning, I got a news that 2 people were killed in Riom. Both are Christians. Yesterday in Benue State, you mentioned the Emeka,
yes,
about the killings in Benue State. On Saturday, people were killed in Mangu local government. Who were the people killed? How many Muslims were killed in all of these places? I don't want to bring religion into it, but the United States did not say they are coming to flush away Muslims.
That's the thing. I don't understand how we are. I don't understand how we are equating terrorists.
And people from the Southwest will come and tell me that I'm saying here that it is a lie. No man, I repeat, no man in the Southwest, even the president, has the guts or the balls to tell me that. None of them.
And there's a thing about, again, this is not it's not conversation against the Southwestern intellectuals, loosely used here intellectuals. It is that they live in a bubble. And I've said it here on different, you know, outside of the mic. People outside of a certain region live in a bubble where they think their singular reality defines all of Nigeria's reality. And that is not true. If you have not lived a people's life, you do not have the moral and ethical right to tell them their experience is a lie. There is no part in all of this conversation where anybody from Plateau, or anybody from Benue, or anybody from Borno has said, let's kill all Muslims. No. Let us stop the terrorists. And so if we cannot have a conversation as a people because a certain part of the country or certain people believe that a fight against terrorism is a fight against them, then we're not having harder conversation. We don't want to be killed. People want to live. They do not want to die. And please, do not skew the conversation as Christian versus Muslims. It is Nigeria against terrorists. That is it.
That's just the normal behavior of every politician, you know, in Nigeria. Once issues like this come up, they try to use religious sentiments. If it's not religious sentiments, they also try to bring in tribal sentiments. At this very point, I want to say that I don't think anyone from the Southwest have actually, I don't know, back then, during the removal of fuel subsidy in 2012, did you see, I mean, you could actually hear the loud voice of the likes of Pastor Enoch Adeboye.
Yes.
You heard the loud voice of Pastor Tunde Bakari.
Yes.
Today, where are they?
Yeah, well they
Can
don't
they
have,
speak?
They don't have an opinion anymore.
It doesn't matter any longer.
See, I think it's a high time we stop playing politics. The problem I have with some Christians, and there I say Southwestern Christian leaders, is that everything revolves around politics. The reason why some people would not speak is because they think, hey, our person is in power. If we speak, we are putting a bad name on the person. Because how is Professor Ishak Akintola making this about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? How in God's good name is it about the president? How do you think that people complain about their lives being lost and the presidency not doing enough to protect them is them hating the president? How does it make sense? And again, like I said before, I would need, and as a form of clarion call, if that's the loose word to use here, that certain religious leaders would have to speak up.
Of course.
Like they say, silence is consent. If you do not speak up against the system that what you're dealing with right now, it means you agree with it.
Of course, you are complicits. At this point, you can't sit on the fence. It's either you are here or you are there. Your silence shows you are complicit. So I think all our political leaders should stand up if this actually affects them, because by next year, everyone will start craving to come out for primaries and win elections. And if possible, if that very if that very bill in the House scales through that November 2026, should be held and should actually have elections being held, a lot of people will come out with their posts and start begging you for votes. If you kill all of those people, who will vote for you? That's just a simple question. All right, I think at this point we'll move the conversation now from our desk to our very able guest who has just joined, like we promised, and of course is here with us. He also told us he'll be here yesterday. He spoke to us, but it was very, very minimal. But today we'll be having the conversation with Bishop Benjamin Kwashi, who is here seated. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, it's a singular honor to have you here.
Thank you very much.
All right. This is Emeka Omesi, and I'm Richard Badu. Yeah. All right, so let's get into the chronics of this conversation. You've heard about the Christian genocide. We started the conversation yesterday, and you mentioned quite a number of things. One of them, which we asked you, was about politicians, trying to, and also some other pastors, clergymen from the Southwest, who have been trying to polish all of this in order to see it. Now, some people see it as, as just a way of pitching the president black. But let me just ask you, do you think governments have done enough to actually end all of this?
I think let's look back in history. APC government once went to America to tell American government during Jonathan Goodluck that there was genocide. They did that. So the word genocide did not come because a Catholic bishop went or because Reverend Dachomo is calling on America. No. A genocide is a legal term throughout the world as written down by the Convention of the United Nations. So you can actually Google and see what constitutes genocide. And as in the case of Nigeria, it has been slowly coming on way back in the 90s, 80s actually, in bits and pieces, that in particular parts of northern Nigeria, Christians have been suffering. But it is more like a small-scale marketing. So you lose one today, no tomorrow two. So it's a police case and so on. Until it came down to 2001, where clearly there is a design. And the reason why I think politicians, or not all, some politicians know it, but they don't know how to say it or don't want to say it. When you look at a systematic way in which attacks are carried out,
yes,
it needs a research and a study. And when you do that, you will see that there is a calculated, carefully mapped out direction against a specific people. And it so happens that these people are Christians. Now, in the case of 2001, it was described as politics.
Yes.
And indeed, there was politics about it. It was mainly about poverty alleviation between politicians in Jos North. But that provided an opportunity for those who want to carry out their agenda, because we in Plateau couldn't manage that, so they seized the opportunity and turned it into religion.
Yes.
And those who have planned an agenda previous to this latched on it. And by 2019, President Yaradua, bless him of blessed memory, will not take it. He crashed it immediately.
2007.
No, by 2007.
Yes.
Just before he died. Sorry,
Yes.
thank you very much. And then President Goodluck took over. But the Boko Haram had arms, had factories, local manufacturing factories. This was after demolition of some areas. The army showed pictures of armories and arm-making factories and so on. So it has developed and carefully planned, recruited armies, well armed, and Boko Haram took it from there. Now, the development now moved to the Fulani militia, then to Lakurawa. And then eventually we were told by former governor of Kaduna State, that they paid off these people not to do that. So
So
you
he
can see,
claimed not to pay them out. A particular interview he held, I think, some months ago. He claimed that he has never paid bandits before.
well, but he actually said publicly that they paid these people to stop. Now, we were told, again, through other press, that the people said that they're not living anywhere. They've been left in the, that was not the promise. So later on, years down the road, they were given 100 billion naira, as was reported in the press, as compensation or whatever it was. That explains why, at the total sum of it, it becomes a genocide. But it is not just genocide against Christians. It must be described for what it is. The Northeast, the Kanuri, they paid a heavy price. The Northwest also paid, and are still paying, a heavy price. And I think I read somewhere that the Hausa in particular feel that their lands and their mosques have been desecrated. In fact, people have been killed in the mosques, rapes carried out in the mosques. I do not know that they wrote to the ICC. But as for us, we are facing in the Middle Belt an existential threat, literally. Because if it was just killings, well, that bad as it is, we can manage. But they are wiping out towns and villages and renaming them and settling there up till today. In fact, they are building their own huge buildings in a place where they can see everybody. I'm talking about real buildings.
Yes.
Here. You cannot go there if you are a Christian, unless you are a Muslim. It's happening also Bassa areas. So you can see that clearly there is a war plan to engulf these people. The same war plan is being carried out in the Northwest, because in the Northwest there is gold, surface mining, just like we have on the plateau, surface mining. So those who are interested in the mineral resources of Nigeria are doing their own genocide. In our own case, also, in the Middle Belt, interestingly, there is also rich deposits of all kinds of mineral resources, which is why the genocide carried out is wiping away people to occupy land in order to mine these resources. What I'm trying to bring out here is so that we don't rush to say they're killing Christians and they're killing Muslims. No, it's beyond that. There are people who know what I'm saying and know even more, and are planning for this country big time. a base of power, but necessarily they don't care who they kill, whether they be Christians, whether they be Muslims. But in our own case, in the Middle Belt, where there are more Christians,
Yes.
that is why the Christians are crying out and saying, look, Christians are being massacred at genocidal level.
I listened to a video by Pierre Lumumba, and he talked about how this is an ideology, and how this ideology cannot be defeated by mere guns and bombs. Do you think this, like your words, like you mentioned, the taking over of lands beyond just the killings, but the occupation and the balkanization of these lands, do you think it's an ideology that cannot be defeated by guns and bombs?
It is true, but here is the real truth. Equal power must meet with equal power of the terrorists, and superior power must show itself over the terrorists. Then you can talk. But when you have not done that and you are already appeasing them, you are accepting defeat. Let me even tell you the worst part. Pictures abound where these terrorists have conquered towns and states literally in Nigeria,
Yes.
local government. They even attend wedding ceremonies with their guns. They even do parade of their armies publicly within a nation. That takes me to the other question. Does Nigeria really want to protect its citizens? Because how can people like that be parading in states and in local government with their flags, and the nation is doing nothing? I think that is why the cry has gone up, because the long and short is that parts of northern Nigeria are going to be conquered. And they have not hidden it. They want to Islamize Nigeria in their own way. I mean, I'm 70 years. I know Islam. We've lived with Muslims here for so many years. We have brothers, we have sisters, we've intermarried. But there is a new Islam that has come, whose flag waves death, bloodshed, human sacrifice, and terrorism.
Are you trying to call this jihad?
I'm not trying to call it jihad. It is jihad.
Okay.
Because they have said it. Both the Fulani killers and the Lakurawa and the Boko Haram have said it is a jihad. They are doing it for religion. So unless the nation matches its own power with these people, which I believe that is what has come to be now, suddenly the president is given matching orders that these guys have to be crushed and they must run out. And by the way, when there is a cry of genocide, nobody needs to report to the world. People think that Nigerians have reported this matter to the world. No. There are different organizations in the world who have records. In our own case, in the Middle Belt, we have names and addresses of people who have been killed. That we have been doing for over 20 years.
Wow.
So there's a tally of names and villages. Every village now has people. People die, you write their names, you write their address, take their pictures, and there are witnesses. So we don't want to lie against anybody. We don't have problems with Muslims. We don't have problems with anybody. We have problems with terrorism and government abandoning our people to human sacrifice. Something God abolished 4,000 years ago is happening in Nigeria. I mean, blood is cheaper now than petrol. It's unacceptable.
Well, very, very unacceptable, just like your words. But let's get back to the words of the Tortif, when he came out to speak during a town hall, and even told the president the same thing. He said, if at all these people want to actually, make themselves clean, that's a Fulani, that it's time to differentiate the madman from the mechanic. The case of, when you see a madman and a mechanic, you may almost want to call them the same thing. But because the mechanic have an association, they'll know their members and they'll take them away. Now, do you actually think at this very point, there is this willingness by the government? Like I asked before, now, looking at what exactly this is now, a lot of people believe this is just one tribe coming together. That's the Fulani tribe. In the North Central, to be specific, because when you ask the eyewitnesses or the people that actually had the first-hand, information or witness to this, they will always tell you the Fulani people are the one doing this. Now, are these people bigger than our security architecture? That's just where my question is lying at the end of the day.
No, they are not. They are not bigger than any nation. No one particular militia is bigger than the nation. The nation knows these people. There is a retired military officer who explained this profoundly in an interview with one of the Nigerian television channels. They can be dealt with. But the sponsors are the people in politics, in political offices, that I think the compromise, that is where it lies. And if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the elected president of Nigeria, who swore to protect its citizens and its nations and its national dignity and integrity, this is at his table. Let me tell you one thing. United Emirates rejected the sponsors, arrested them, deported them, and gave Nigeria the names. It's on the presidential table. Many nations have exposed these people. Even Saudi Arabia has turned out a few people that they consider sponsors of terrorists and have turned them down. America is now coming to say it's going to do the same, and everybody is saying, oh, it's because Christians. No, it's not because Christians. Terrorism is now rejected all over the world. It's non-commodity acceptable all over the world. So Nigeria has to now wake up and say, look, whoever these people are, we are going to deal with them according to law. Their names are known. Sometimes they are mentioned. Sometimes they've been said. They are here, there, and the other. This is what Nigeria needs to do now. And we will encourage our president. We will support him. We'll support the armed forces to do their job. The second thing I will say about that, which I mentioned to you yesterday, is that if the Nigerian police is encouraged, the Nigerian police is the best security force in Nigeria that I know, that knows far much more. I mean, we've come to rely on military. Military doctrine is different. But the police, they belong to the people. They know where they are. They know what to do, and they know how to do it. Before there is any coup in Nigeria, from 1966, the police know it.
Yes.
The police warn it. So is it this security situation the police cannot know? The police have been handicapped. They have not been encouraged. Their recruitment level is so low. Our population is so high. And they've not been given everything that they need in order to police.
So are you saying police that Nigerians believe are corrupt, will handle the situation better than the military are doing right now?
I'm telling you the truth. No matter how much you say police are corrupt, they are still the best people to do this job. I am 100% and 10 convinced they are the people.
Why do you believe so?
I was preaching in Texas.
Okay.
And a gentleman after the church, after the convention, came to meet me, say, "You are Nigerian?" I said, "Yes." Said, "Nigeria is not safe. The killings there every now and again in Nigeria is not safe." And I said to him, "That's true, but let me also respond this way." And what I told him was this. In America, one policeman, constable, has a car, has a camera, has a backup, has a pistol, has a gun, has a dog. One policeman. And yet in New York, every day 20 people die. The police in Lagos has no shoe, has no gun. He probably has one, but the bullets are only 3. No backup, nothing. And yet, in Lagos, less people die. So who is doing a better job? There must be something that's going on somewhere that we cannot explain. If the Nigerian police, each police has a car, has a backup, has a gun, has a dog, honestly speaking, there will be no terrorism in this country. But where do the monies of those cars go to? They go to our leaders. They keep changing cars. They keep building houses. They keep doing all of these kinds of things. And the worst part for them and us together, they are jeopardizing our future collectively, is they are not thinking of the future. A responsible leader thinks of the next generation and the third generation. Because the children of these people at the IDP camps who are now vulnerable, who are sufficiently angry, they are bitter, they are full of hate, their families have been killed, and so on, they are also going to grow. The policemen themselves in Nigeria and the armed forces as a whole, security, all of them, immigrations, many of them now don't even have villages to go back to, and they are serving our nation now. Their nations have been wiped out, their families have been wiped, but they are serving the nation now. When they leave, what do you think is going to happen to this country? There are many things that this nation is sowing against itself, but they are sowing it against the generations of their own children, because these children are angry. I mean, we've seen it many times. Is it Armenia? Is it Bosnia? Is it South Africa? Is it Rwanda? Once you sow the seed, the type we are seeing in Nigeria, it will mature. It's a matter of 10 to 15 years.
All right,
You
sir.
will see.
One of the other issues when you zoom out of the problems is the geopolitical involvement in all of this. Some days ago, China came out to say, hey, we stand with Nigeria, whatever the government wants to do, they should do. The European Union too have said we stand with Nigeria. Some are saying that this American involvement and the counter response from China and the EU is a jostle for material resources in Nigeria. Yesterday, I think this morning, I saw that gold has been discovered in Benue. From your standpoint, how much of a problem are we when both powers, the Chinas and the USA, are jostling for us? Is this a cause for concern for us as a people, or should we just let geopolitics have its way?
Look, where was China when we were being killed? What did they say?
Nothing.
Where was Europe when we were being massacred? What did they say? Is it now they are saying because Trump has spoken that they take up another stand? I don't trust it. How many Chinese are mining our lands?
A lot of them illegally.
Illegally. So, this is, if we think they are friends, they are not. They are not. How many Chinese have been sacked out of Nigeria? Caught and sacked. How many of them were doing 419? Yahoo. The other day, about 90-something of them deported. So if we think because China has taken a stand, these people are saying we are taking a stand with China, and no. That's completely wrong. Listen carefully. Nobody is going to save Nigeria for us. Nobody. Everybody have their own interest. Nigeria, look, America is building the largest embassy in the whole world in Lagos. Why is she doing that? They have looked at the future way ahead. Our leaders cannot see. Instead of educating our younger generation in tech savviness, in AI, and making them feel children of nobodies, or make sure that the education system is good for everybody. The primary schools, particularly primary schools, get it into the hands of our children. They will protect this land and protect us. But no, we are raising angry young children who have nothing to lose. They are looking at our houses and wanting to destroy. This is the problem we have with leadership. We should be investing backwards. I belong to the generation of those who got everything Nigeria could offer for nothing. My father didn't pay my school fees. I went to a military school. He doesn't even know where military school is. I was admitted on my own merit, and so were all of us. And the opportunities for life was given to us. For the first time that I will ever get a visa was 1984 to England. For all my lifetime growing up, we got a visa at the border point in London. And we got a visa at the border point in London to go anywhere we wanted. We went for weekends. The transport to London was 250 naira for a student, return ticket. So we got all of that. How come our children now cannot get anything in Nigeria, cannot get anything abroad? Leaders fail to think third and fourth generation. And this is the crisis we are going to face. Unless it is arrested now, it's going to get worse. Look at the Lekki issue. Toll gate issue. Young people, they're angry. Is that what we want to live? And then thinking that our children and grandchildren, They're a minority.
Okay, I think before we take phone calls, I know the phone lines already are buzzing, but before we take phone calls and read comments on Facebook, I want us to look at the situation. After the Trump statement, one would have actually expected our government to react, and maybe by now, we should be seeing results of bandits being arrested, terrorists being arrested, or being flushed out. Just like Chad, I think on Monday, Chad had to lock its border. Chad had to lock a border, in order not to allow anyone coming. Other African countries are taking the same measure. But just recently, our president in the ECOWAS meeting, agreed with ECOWAS members that the U.S. have no right to infringe on any sovereign nation. Now, looking at what exactly it is as a country for us, the question now is the government part of all of this problem? Or they are supposed to take immediate action in order not to allow the United States come solve what they can actually solve? Because back then, you said you attended the military school, and I believe back then, our soldiers went for peacekeeping. And they usually come back almost intact. They usually come back almost the same number they went. Not all of them come back, but at least we have just minutes of them, die at some point, and some can't return back for some reasons. But looking at the whole issue now, do you think if our government fails to do anything because of the way they've been speaking, the way they've been feeling threatened, another thing, do you actually think Nigeria has what to do to end all of this as Nigerians?
Nigeria does have. So that's my answer for you.
Okay.
But let me tell you this. Our president is correct. Our sovereign integrity cannot be violated. It's absolutely correct. But here is how America works. America will protect first and foremost American interest. First and foremost. So wherever it is threatened, America will go. Whatever the world wants to say can say. Number two, America will protect Americans anywhere. Anywhere, any day. But number three, America will protect its economic interests anytime, anywhere, any day. So that is a clear, they've demonstrated it over the years, so we know that that is so. So even if America is going to come here, the first thing it will do is to save Americans first. So it's not going to come and fight and protect us. They want to save Christians. No, they are not going to do that. They will come here, save Americans first, evacuate them entirely, and make sure that they are safe. Then if their interests are also threatened, then they will find another means of how to deal with it. It's not as if they are going to come and start bombing everywhere. No, they're not going to do that. These negotiations are going to go on for a long while. What is aching us and should ache every Nigerian is that with our pride as Nigerians, footballers, musicians, preachers, and all wonderful men and women, we are unable to care for our people. I have been saying this for over 10 years, 20 years. What pains me the most is that Nigerians who are poor, the poorest of the poor, are the people the Nigerian governments have refused to protect. Literally refused to protect. They are the ones being killed. They are the villagers, ordinary potato farmers, ordinary dawa farmers, gero farmers in the northeast, grain farmers. These ordinary people are the ones who are being killed every day. The tally of the number is these people. What kind of nation are we, for God's sake, that we will allow poor people, and we think God will not judge? It's not right. It's unacceptable.
We've seen people being arrested for self-defense, the likes of Samuel Jackson, and these actually have discouraged Nigerians.
In his farm, self-defense in his farm. So these are the kind of justice. Let us tell each other the truth. And I pray that our governments, with this threat, will know now that we have been downgraded. Actually, we have not been downgraded. We downgraded ourselves to the point where another nation will say, we are coming to help. We are greater than that. We did it in ECOMOG, in Liberia, Sierra Leone. We did it in, we even did it in Bosnia. We did it in Lebanon. We've been there in Congo all my life. I'm 70 years old. Nigerians have always been there. We did it in Tanzania. Colonel Yakubu Pam from Plateau State formed the army of Tanzania. We did it everywhere wonderfully well. And we can't do it for our country. No, that's not acceptable. We've degraded ourselves.
All right. Let's take phone calls. We'll get back to this conversation. The phone lines are already buzzing. Hello, good morning.
God will bless you, Mr. Gilbert. Sorry, Mr. The presenter. Sorry, I forgot. Okay, Richard.
Yes.
Richard. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I confused more. And please, I want to appreciate your guest. And your Emeka is not around in the studio. I don't know if he's there.
Emeka is here.
My name is Benedict, calling from Seringada.
All right, please go ahead.
Please, Femi Fanala, with the due respect, the whole of respect I have for him, I'm surprised at the kind of comment that is coming from him, especially on the backdrop of the statement credited to the President of the United States. Femi Fanala, with all of the awareness and every of his pain in Nigeria, I have not come to see him speaking on the killings in Nigeria. I have not heard that. Maybe someone may just come and see him and make some one or two statements, but me, Mr. Benedict, I have not heard that. I really wonder why he's coming at this very point to come and make some certain statement unexpected of him. And I also want to ask a question to Nigerians, people that are condemning, the intervention of the United States. Can they please come and give us solution to this particular killings? Because as it is today, our president, who has also failed in the responsibility of protecting lives and property, have not given us any reason to believe that things are going to get better, especially when it comes to killings. And now that they are condemning the intervention of the United States, please, can anybody among them come to give us a simple solution? Because even the military, the security agencies, they have actually run out of ideas. The way I'm looking at it, because people are being killed in their hundreds, and they cannot even make an arrest. Tomorrow, if a particular vehicle is attacked and the other religion is involved, or people in the religion is involved, you see massive arrests coming from the federal government, directly from the police and force intelligence headquarters.
All right, let's try to allow people that still talk.
People are massacred in the village, in the home house, in the middle of the night. You just see silence. Please, they should give us solution. Let them provide solution. In as much as America is not going to come to intervene in accordance to their own wish. Please, they should give us solution to it, please. That's my take.
Thank you so much, Benedict. Well, these are opinions of individuals, and like we told you, of course, earlier this morning, calls and of course comments on social media, that's of the individual, not properties of J101.9 FM Just Seat. You can also call in. The numbers are there for you to call 0905-566-6699 or 0812-187-7777. All the lines are open. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Very good morning to you. Welcome. Tell us your name and location.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Sadiq Umar. I'm calling from T Junction.
All right, Sadiq Umar. I think you have the floor.
Yeah, I will comment your guest. You have spoken very, very well. It is very, very unfortunate what we are facing in Nigeria. You see, the reality is that when we look at the politics and the policy of the government, it seems like they are just based on personal interest, because we have seen that in Nigeria, like Nigeria have just stopped, because when we check all the factions, is it health that is working, or is it education that is working, or is it the insecurity that we are facing on a daily basis, or is it the economy that a man cannot able to feed 3 times in a day? So you see, there is a lot of things that Nigerians have to face. But the reality is that they are not telling the president the truth. But I don't even like to even say that the president do not know what is happening, because we have had killings and we have seen the response of the president. It's not something good that people will even want to talk about it. So you see, the president have to come out and show to the world that he's against this kind of terrorism. He's against, as your guests have said, Saudi have already reeled out the name of this sponsor. Why have they not been arrested? And this attack, these people that are having this attack, they will have their attack and nobody will be arrested. And as of now that the government are talking, nobody is arrested. And we cannot say that the government do not know where they are. As long as they can negotiate with them, they can sit down with them, they can have a meeting with them, then that say that they can assess them. So we are calling on the government to do the needful. People are dying on daily basis. That's the fact. In all parts of Nigeria, even the southeast, every aspect of Nigerian people are dying on a daily basis. And the number one priority of the government is to secure the people. If the government have failed, then international countries have to interfere. So we are supporting any international country that will interfere. So
All right.
we are not
Thank you so
even
much for your thoughts.
want to understand with China. China have been collaborating with Nigeria for a long time, but it seems like they are the benefactor of all these problems that we have seen. We have seen what is happening in Zamfara. So it's a reality. So the government need to do the needful. Thank you very much. God bless.
All right, thank you so much, Sadiq Kumar. Let's take more calls. Hello, good morning. I think we missed that one. Well, there are also comments on social media that we'll be taking, but let's just one more call, then we get to the comments on social media, and I guess we'll be wrapping up with us. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Richard, Mr. Emeka, and the guests in the studio.
Good morning.
This is Adeomi calling you from Bochiro.
Please go ahead, Adeomi. You have the
Thank
floor.
you very much. You see, my take this morning, at first, for Trump even taking a military action in this country is a clear sign that our government are failed. You understand? Then, on the other hand, those politicians and others coming out and even condemning the action of Trump, and even the Chinese people. Where were they when Nigerians were being killed? You understand? Where were these people even when Barack Obama even denied Goodluck Jonathan the calling about the Neilo without even giving us ammunition? Let's remember, it's this same Trump that gave us the Super Tucano. But today, where is the Super Tucano? How long have we seen the Super Tucano being used on this insurgency? You understand? These are some of the things we are asking this morning. You see, the only thing I will say this morning, as Muslim and Christians, the only thing I see with the talk of Trump is this. If he said yes, there is genocidal attack on Christians. Yes, Christians are killed. And on the other hand, Muslims too are killed. But I want him to maybe reframe his words and said Nigerians are being killed. So let us see an end to this issue of insecurity. As of yesterday, this morning, some people are kidnapped, some people are being killed. So what are the government doing about that? So I think we should give Trump a chance. If coming of Trump to Nigeria will provide a solution to make us both Christian and Muslim to have peace in this country, so be it. So that is what we are calling for, peace. All Nigerians are resident people. We always love to go to our farms, for people to travel to their places, to do their various businesses, just as the way the country used to be. So let us allow peace to reign. If Trump coming will give us peace in this country, so be it, so that at least we all benefit. Enough of the hardship in line with this insecurity is becoming a thing of major concern in negotiating with bandits and whatsoever. And coming with ammunition, they refuse to lay down their arms, coming for peace talk, and you see coming with a lot of ammunition, and none of you have been arrested. Let us know this on the basis of this unknown government, so that really these things can become a thing of the past, and Nigeria begin to grow again. Thank you, and God continue to bless you.
Amen. Thank you too. Okay. Well, Emeka, let's get to you. I believe there are some comments there to actually see.
On social media, we've got a number of comments here. Ayo Daily Agbabiaka goes, I'm getting angry by the Southwest and their statements. If they have nothing to say about the issues, they should stay mute. Dimal Bala says, may God bless Richard and Mega for saying it the way it is. How can someone who doesn't know what is happening in the North speak from the side of ignorance? Samson Ezekiel says, peace isn't the absence of war, but the presence of justice. How can we live peacefully in a country where there are different laws operating in different places? Izang Istefano says, let the truth be told. If the US president is willing to help us out of this insecurity in the country, I think it is a welcome development. Those against it are the beneficiaries and sponsors of the insecurity. Ikre Mweri says, by reaching out to the affected communities through follow-up. Benjamin Peters goes, Donald Trump never threatened Nigeria as a country. The target is a terrorist who the elites are not willing to deal with. Using religious coloration is an indication that we are not ready to restore peace. When Nigerians are ready, Nigeria will change. Sule Godwin goes, my opinion is that we cannot continue living in pieces, thinking that we are living in peace. In Nigeria, there is no peace. Let Trump come and do something. Ephraim Choji says, we really need to help. We really need the help of the US to curtail the issues of killings in Nigeria and the Middle Belt in particular. Richard Egbita says, we are getting closer to the end of killing and terrorism in Nigeria because Donald Trump don't just talk but back statements with facts and actions. Some of those against him should be investigated of terrorism, and I'm pretty sure their hands are in. And in a good example, he may call the name here I cannot mention for obvious reasons. Sonny Umo goes, good morning Richard and my guest. My opinion is that we need Trump for peace in Nigeria. And finally, because of a want of time, Mafia Sipra and Luca goes, you are right to call this out. The violence across parts of Nigeria has reached a scale that is terrifying and deeply politicized. Favor Esther says, Trump is coming to Nigeria to restore back peace, not to fight anyone. The killings in our country is really worrisome. Everyday lives are lost. What a world. May God help us in this country. A lot of comments here. Let me see if I can just take
I think
one.
maybe just one. Then.
All right, Likita Gokarts goes, Nigeria seriously needs intervention.
All right. So I think before the United States made this very statement through the president, Donald Trump, and before Ted Cruz actually came up, there has been call for states policing or community police. That's a state security police or community where governors, local government chairman can actually have control of security architecture in order to reduce all of this. But do you still see that as a solution?
It won't solve it completely, but it will solve the local issues. Because community policing, I don't think they've worked it out in a way that we ourselves will have an input to see what they can do and their limits. Unless we know that, we cannot endorse it. But police that I know as Nigerian police, if we're going to have that type of police at local levels, we're going to help our local people a great deal, because they will be armed, they will be accountable, and they will be sufficiently funded and paid and looked after to do their job. They have departments of intelligence, they have criminal departments, they have all of those kinds of departments. If this is what we'll have at local levels, we're going to help very, very much. We'll also have the mobile police that also creates defenses in battles. So if we have all of those in the nation, we would have gone a long way. So, but I'm not sure I understand what the community policing is, and they're even going into state policing. I think we better deal with the community policing first before we see how it works. Then we go into state policing.
So are you saying it's irrelevant? The state police is irrelevant. Nigeria don't need it.
My point is this. Let us work with one first, and then we graduate into the
So
other.
state police.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my final question is, if you have a message for or to people who are listening to you, to Christian Muslims and Nigerians, I wouldn't say a message of succor, but one of hope. What would that be?
The one I'm a Nigerian. Nigeria has invested in my life. I will never betray this country. I have had opportunities to work abroad. God did not ask me to stay. I've turned them down. My call is to the poor, to the rural areas. Everywhere I have worked, you can check my history. I have worked in rural communities, building schools, building clinics, helping the poor in their farms, raising their children to get schools, and many of them now are in responsible places, doctors, etc., and also on. That's my call, to reinvest in Nigeria. I am calling on Nigerians not to lose hope, because I'm not the only Nigerian who's doing this. There are some others who are unsung heroes. And even I who am speaking, I put down my own sufferings behind me. I have suffered. My house has been burnt. My church has been burnt. 3 attempts on my life, yet I am still walking here. I am a survivor. And the reason God has given me life is to speak on behalf of the dead and to speak on behalf of the voiceless. So anyone who says that there is no genocide in this case, honestly speaking, he has betrayed the dead. And I don't know what God will do with him. Anyone who says people have not been killed, the poor have not been killed, whether they are in the northwest or in the northeast or in the middle belt, such wicked statements are unacceptable to me. And honestly, I'm praying to God to justify that case, because the lack of justice is unacceptable to God and is unacceptable to men. So we have hope. We cannot lose hope. And I think that our president has heard, because with his change of guard, I hear he's given a fresh command. We wait to see. And we are not waiting for months. We are waiting for weeks. We are waiting for days. Let it be that it is clear that the terrorists are the ones running away. Let it be very, very clear that those who have occupied lands and driven people away, that they are running away and people are returning back to their lands. Let it be that those farmers who have lost their farms, because Fulani men are now so arrogant, they release their farms, you talk, they remove their knives and remove guns. Let it be that that cedes and stops immediately. Because this farming season is so difficult. We don't want that same kind of farming season next year.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been a swell conversation here in the studio this morning. We wish we could go further because I know there are more to even talk. We've not even touched the area of CAN itself, of course, and what CAN should be looking forward to. That will surely be for some other time. But it's a pleasure to have you in the studio once again.
Thank you.
All right.
Badoo.
Well, this is how we call it a wrap
Thanks,
this
Emeka.
morning. Thank you so much, Emeka, for staying tuned. Also, thank you so much to you, the listener. My name is Richard Bandung. News comes on you by 10 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. The news will surely give you more intels and information like you need to know. The new game starts today. Don't forget. Bye.
J-Town. This is 101.9.
Mom, why do you always insist on buying NASCO cornflakes?
Because it is whole flakes, 100% cornflakes,
And it's tasty, crunchy.
and nutritious. In the kitchen game, there are players and then Agba Ballers, MVP, Player of the Year, 10-0, no rival. Become an Agba Baller with the new improved Maggi chicken flavor, made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric to bring out your top game in the kitchen.